grab my phone from my bedroom. Start recording.
I'm 78 now. Time slips past faster than the tide, you know. And I still feel that night like it happened yesterday. The night the sea turned red. I mean, it's been over 50 years, but sometimes I wake up and see it all over again. That smell, that sound, that emptiness. I was 22 then, young, restless, full of, I don't know, a foolish sense of immortality. My friend Khaled, he was 27, best friend I ever had. We ate together, worked together, slept in the same cramped cabin on the boat, and laughed together. God, we laughed. He had this way of making every terrible, exhausting day feel like, well, like it didn't matter what the ocean threw at us. He was always cracking jokes, singing little tunes. He made the world lighter. Anyway, that night we were out in the deep ocean, routine fishing. Nothing unusual, or so I thought. Khaled, he had this habit, you know. He'd sit on the very edge of the boat, the corner at the back, just dangling his legs, joking with us. I remember telling him, Khaled, don't sit there. It's dangerous. And he just laughed. That was Khaled, always joking, always teasing, fearless in a way I envied. I was down below in the basement loading fish, the sound of waves pounding, the smell of salt and brine. It was ordinary, too ordinary. Then I heard the scream, a sound I will never forget. Something massive, something unreal, splashed the side of the boat. A shark, big, huge, terrifying. Khaled, he didn't move fast enough. He didn't listen to us. I saw the water turn red with blood, and my heart, it just stopped. I ran up, but it was too late. His laughter, his jokes, gone. Just gone. I think I started crying there, on the deck in the middle of the ocean, and no one could help him. No one. I remember staring at that blood beside our boat, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But it was. Oh, God, it was so real. And the thing that haunts me, it wasn't just fear, it was helplessness. The kind of fear that burrows into your chest and never leaves. We tried to carry on after that. We had to. The ocean doesn't stop for grief. But I couldn't stop thinking about him, his little daughter, Ruma. She was 4 years old then. I didn't know her much, but I visited Bangladesh twice after. I wanted to see her face, to see his smile in hers, and I did. But every time I looked at her, I remembered what was lost, a life, a father, laughter snatched away. The years went on. I faced death a few more times. The ocean, it has a way of reminding you. One night, a storm broke loose, waves higher than I thought possible, and I thought, maybe this is it, my time. And later, when a small fire broke on another boat, I saw the flames and smoke and thought, no, not again. I can't leave like this. Each time, a whisper, a reminder of that first terror. You know, it's strange. The slow cost of life isn't always obvious. Khaled's death, it changed me, yes, but not all at once. It was quiet. In the laughter I didn't share, in the warnings I ignored, in the smiles I postponed for work, for survival. The ocean takes, but it also teaches. And I learned too late that some things cannot be fixed, that some moments once lost never return. Even now I dream of him sometimes, not in anger or blame, but in that way you dream of warmth, of music, of light you can't have anymore. I remember his jokes, the way he leaned over the boat's edge, humming a tune like he owned the world, and I remember crying. For him, for me, for all of us. I've lived a long life. full of fish caught, storm survived, and night staring at the horizon. But there is a quiet sorrow, a truth I carry. You can work hard, you can succeed, you can survive. But if you trade presence for productivity, laughter for duty, well, some things you just can't get back. Khaled, Ruma, that night to sea, it reminds me every day. Anyway, I don't tell this story for shock or for tears, not really. I tell it because I think maybe someone, somewhere, will pause, will hold their friends a little closer, laugh a little harder, notice the edges before they vanish. Life is slippery, the sea is patient, but it is relentless. So, if you hear this, remember this: the world is not fair, and it does not wait. But for what it's worth, cherish the jokes, the songs, the small absurdities, because one day you might look up and find the sea has taken everything you thought was yours. That was the night the sea turned red. And it will stay red in my heart forever. Well, after that night, the sea never looked the same to me. I mean, I could sail, I could fish, I could laugh, but there was always a shadow. You know, a quiet reminder of what waits when you aren't paying attention. I think that's what I feared most at first, the unpredictability, the suddenness, death that doesn't ask permission. I remember standing on the deck in the early mornings, mist curling around the bow, and I'd feel it in my chest, a tightness I couldn't shake. Well, it wasn't just Khaled. Over the years, I lost more friends, men I trusted with my life. Some disappeared in storms, others in ways you don't expect. One evening in '78, we were near the northern shoals, waves climbing higher than my memory dares to recall. I remember my heart pounding, hands gripping the rails, every knot and rope straining like it knew we were testing fate. A young boy, barely out of his teens, fell overboard. I dove, and thank God I got him, but the look in his eyes, the terror, I can still see it, like he was already seeing what comes after. And I couldn't do anything about what comes for the rest. So, the fear of death, it didn't fade. It changed shape. At first it was panic, then guilt, then a strange respect. I remember thinking, maybe this is why we are alive, to see it coming and yet keep moving forward. It's absurd, I know, but that's how it felt. Every time the horizon stretched empty and gray, I'd remind myself, life is brief, and yet we pretend it isn't. Oh, there were moments of love, too. Strange, fragile love. I met Miriam when I was 35. She wasn't from the coast, not a fisherwoman. She worked in a small bakery, sugar and cinnamon always clinging to her hair. I fell fast, maybe foolishly, and for a while I thought she could fill the hollows left by all the friends and mates I lost. We married, had a daughter, Layla, and yet the ocean called me, always, even when I promised her I'd stay, even when I told her, no more deep-sea trips, I swear. The sea, it whispers louder than love sometimes. I remember one night, around 40. A storm hit, unlike anything I had seen before. Waves higher than the boat, wind tearing at sails, and I could hear Miriam screaming from below. I tried to reach her, but the deck was a chaos of water and wood. That night I realized something terrifying. I could not save everyone. I could not control the world. And yet I continued. I kept going to the sea. I think I needed to prove something to myself, maybe to Khaled, that I could survive. Oh, but survival is a quiet thing. It doesn't make you happy, not really. I spent decades chasing it, hauling nets, counting fish, measuring storms, and in all that I saw my friends vanish one by one. The slow cost, you know. Small things adding up, a laugh not shared, a hand not held, a promise broken because there was work to do. the night the sea turned red. It lives in me always, but so does everything else. Every laugh, every song, every hand held, every face. And I will carry them to my grave. Quietly, faithfully, like a man who survived too much and learned too late what mattered most.